Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime, here with my next Legend of Korra Book 4 Balance episode commentary. This one's going to be for K411, Kuvira's Gambit, episode 11 of Book 4 Balance. To sync up your copy of the episode with this commentary track, what you need to do is have the episode ready to press play at the start of the episode, including the intro to the episode. So the first thing you'll see on screen will be Kyoshi, and then you'll go through the avatars, and it'll be like Earth, Fire, Air, Water. I'm going to stop speaking now in a moment, and then when I come back after a pause, you hit play, I'll hit play, and we'll be synced up. So I'm going to stop speaking now, hit play when I start speaking again. Okay, so here we are with Kuvira's Gambit, third last episode of the book. Only two more commentaries to go after this one. Hopefully I will... My aim is to finish the commentaries this week, so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do that unless something comes up that wastes a lot of time for me. But for the most part, they will be out this week. I'll probably do the next one tomorrow, my top 10 video on Wednesday, and then Thursday will probably be when I do the last one. But anyway, Kuvira's Gambit episode, for the most part, I think it's memorable for, you know, the big cliffhanger ending, obviously with like, oh my word, everyone's killed and stuff like that. But there's a lot of other stuff in this episode. This is the episode that introduces us to the Colossus, first of all, and is really the first part of the finale in many ways. Obviously they aired the last two as the finale, but really this one's the lead into the finale and the first kind of part of the action happening. And here's just explaining why Kuvira is attacking Republic City, because she feels that Aang and Zuko made the wrong decision, basically making the United Republic from land that was originally Earth Kingdom land. And she wants it back. Again, I fundamentally don't quite understand why she's so eager on this. I can understand maybe some of the other villains like being... like, oh, we got to take this back. And I do understand it because she's very loyal to the Earth Kingdom. But attacking a nation that's been established for basically 70 years because you feel you want it back and are trying to protect the people of your own nation when they've known for 70 years that it's just a neutral place. People from the Earth Kingdom can live in the Earth Empire. But yeah, Wu's evacuation hasn't gone to plan. No one thinks there's really a threat. Makes sense that people are sticking around. And here's Bolin. And so obviously this is the aftermath of Operation Beifong. Everyone's back. Bolin has helped save everyone. But they also have information about the weapon and stuff like that. And they also know, of course, the cliffhanger ending was that the attack is coming shortly. 2 weeks. And obviously Varric hasn't met Julie since she's returned, so that's something that they're kind of setting up that's going to happen at some point. And but yeah, as I said before, I really appreciate them giving more lines to Julie as a character. It really allows her to just actually have some characterization. So yeah, they think she's coming by rail because of how big it was and the way they had to move it around in the testing. So they're expecting it to come by rail, and they can easily stop it coming just by cutting off the rail segments. They've kind of set up this whole new rail system that Asami helped create, so there's kind of set up for that earlier on as well. And here's Varric. Here's the hummingbirds. They're not quite ready yet. But here we go. He's going to reunite the two of them. How does it work? It's Julie! And you could really tell how much they kind of care for each other here. It's just a really strong moment. She didn't mean any of it. Of course, you look at it later, she gets a bit angry at what Varric's response is. She does mean a little bit of it, that, like, he is a bit like, you know, you kind of treat me just as your assistant. And you see her there, you mean the world to me. I'm sorry if you hurt you. And he's just like, just come back to be my assistant. And she's like, no, you kind of don't understand. I do mean some of this. I don't want to be an assistant anymore. I want you to treat me like your equal. It's like, hey, you lead characterization. And you can sort of see that Varric has a little bit to learn. And you're sort of wondering, how much does he care for her? Or is he just being a bit oblivious right now? This is a funny moment as well. Mako he's a good leader, but maybe not the best at these kind of strong speeches. Yeah, he kind of starts confusing them with all of these crazy rule book type stuff. And I love how it sets up Wu can actually just cut through all of this kind of stuff and just get down to what the people need to hear. It's just a really strong moment to give to Wu, that these people that a lot of the people in the city don't support, and now they're going to hear from him over the radio, but he clearly has grown, he understands the situation. And you can tell it's definitely the influence of Mako and Bolin's family on him. And he does it by just doing these common things like, stuff like going to the bathroom normally, we're awesome, we're great, we're cool, we're winners. Tano and the wolf bats at the noodle shop. And there's Gamu again. And then Gamu and the guy he was arguing with in the first episode, they're working together to get out of the city. And he makes the evacuation work normally and all the phone calls go away. Just a strong moment for Wu, but he hasn't had his strongest moment just yet. That's coming up in the finale. And yeah, Tenzin's all ready to say no, everyone else should leave. But no, Pema and the kids want to stay. They want to help. And I kind of like how he doesn't argue here. He's just like, okay, I just thought that you'd usually want to get out with the kids, but no, the kids are all capable. Pema's capable of doing some leadership stuff, so the family's all going to stay here. And I think that it's a bit notable that, in a lot of the scenes with all of the air kids, Janora's the one who's talking, the least, which I find really weird for this book, that she gets probably the least amount of screen time of all of the air kids in this book, despite being in arguably the most important position. General Iroh, first time seeing him in a while. And this is just the kind of preparation for battle in Republic City. The army's coming in, they're evacuating all of the people, they're getting the mecha tanks into position. They're completely prepared for anything that's going to come for them. Except the Colossus. And Raiko is going to command things from Air Temple Island, which is away from the actual city and it's harder to get to. And Team Avatar has decided they're going to take out the spirit weapon on their own before it gets to the city, make a strike before she strikes. So it's a good plan, it makes sense. And ultimately it's probably the best decision in that, if they just let the weapon arrive and then try and take it out, people are going to get killed by one shot before they even get close to it. This way it's just kind of the four of them on a bison can dodge it because it's so big and hard to aim. It makes sense that this is a plan that could actually work to really help when actual battle does come. But yeah, here's the scout outpost in our first reveal of the Colossus. We see, okay, she has a big army marching on the city. And then we get the Colossus. Look how big this thing is. We don't get to see it in full view just yet. It's really cool effects to keep it hidden in the dark and just have the spirit weapon on its arm. And just boom, accurate. It can move all over the place, fire quickly. They're in real trouble here. And those people are dead. Those scouts there, they are dead. There's no other way of saying that. And here we go. They spot the army. And then they're also going to spot the Colossus. Kuvira's arriving a week early. And the obvious thing here is that Kuvira clearly specifically lied to Julie, because she sort of saw through her almost immediately. You could see from the suspicion in the last episode, so she was kind of lying about that. This was always the plan. And of course the Colossus is made, as you can see it now in full, from the domes of Zaofu, so that's primarily made of platinum on the outside. And they didn't know about this, so I assume there's some sort of a story about where exactly it was made. Perhaps it was in Zaofu somewhere, but pretty big thing to keep hidden. But she had control of basically the whole Earth Kingdom. There's a lot of places she probably could have hid it. Probably in Ba Sing Se, actually, maybe. That's one thing they didn't really mention at all, this book, just like specifically the situation in Ba Sing Se itself. But there we go. They just barely avoid getting murdered. And it's just the first, it's not really a battle here, it's just, whoa, we now know about the Colossus. Let's get out of here. We are no match for this thing. Nor is our whole army left. And here's the reveal to everyone else. And you know, of course, after all of the planning, it's just kind of like, oh no, they're a few hours away. 25 stories tall. Korra can really accurately determine stories of things. Pema's going to help with the evacuation. And they need to get the hummingbird suits up and running. Korra's going to head to the front line, so that's just perfect for Korra. She's a fighting avatar. Makes complete sense. The airbenders are going to do what they can. They're very agile. And it's just really cool to see this. Like 2 seasons ago, there was like just one family of airbenders and the avatar. Now there's like a lot of airbenders who can do some stuff for the city. It's just really cool to see how much like Korra overall changed things in terms of the world. But yeah, Korra knows how big this thing is, but the rest of the troops don't, and so it's just like, oh my goodness, when this thing walks out. It's basically bigger than nearly every city, every building in the city. Like they knew to expect something big and powerful, but like, look at the scale there. It's kind of like one step, and half their army's gone. It's crazy. One blast and tons of people die. Raiko's ordering to surrender, but really it's completely the other way around. Like, Raiko should be the one surrendering. And here we go. Warning shot, basically. Because they haven't seen this, apart from like Team Avatar and Bolin, really, they haven't seen the spear weapon, and just warning shot, boom, take down one ship, another shot, take down 2 more, then just basically all the warships gone in like 3 blasts. And just like, imagine that aimed at us, and that's exactly what she does, she points it at them. And Raiko is forced to basically make the decision right now, just like, do we just let all these people die attempting to potentially take this down, or surrender and let a couple of our heroes just go undercover and try and take it out? You completely understand Raiko's decision here. He has a hard choice and he makes it. He does care for the people. And you can't blame him. It's just like, just the amount of people that were going to die if he just let the battle take place. And you know, he wants the Avatar to be turned over, but So they hide basically most of the hero characters, setting up just that the battle isn't going to be army on army. It's going to be Team Avatar plus our other main hero characters against basically the Colossus. Now, it is a little bit of a kind of like, oh, Mike O'Brien have set up a war, but you don't see any of the war once again. They specifically write the story in such a way where a whole army on army battle is taken out of the equation. Where you're now in a situation in the whole Avatar universe where we've never seen a big battle army on army just yet. Like, we've had smaller, even the invasion arc in Book 3 Fire is fairly small in comparison to, say, some of the other battles that we could have had. And here we go. They're going to get Batar because he built the thing, and they're going to see if he can get them out. And Milo can't go because he's too loud and he's too wild. But no, proves it right there. But she's taken basically everyone else. This is a really cool sequence. It's just quick, to the point. It's a part of the hero's plan that just absolutely works. It's really interesting, the team that she chooses. It's Kai, Janora, Boomy. So Boomy's obviously like a really good airbender. And Tenzin and herself. Just like really cool stealth squad. Everyone's just like in, out. No one knew they were even there, and they have Batar. It's just a really cool sequence. You know, they're capturing one of the enemy commanders basically to get information on how to take out their main weapon. And it's amazing how just one person being captured almost completely messes up the kind of just communication system of Kuvira's whole army, because they just don't expect something like this to happen. And yeah, it's really cool the way they carry Batar. Actually, they just like jump out of an airship and fly him. He's really lucky that he doesn't know what's actually going on. He's like, what do I do? I'm being held, but I feel weightless almost. Oh, I almost forgot how good this scene is, especially when Korra just knows exactly how to just own Batar in this situation. He's not going to give in to just pure strength and, torture, basically. And Korra's not the type of character to torture someone like that to get information out of them. Nor are really any of these characters. And Sue tries the more kind of like emotional, motherly approach, but it's clearly not going to work. He's made his choice to side with Kuvira. And Batar was obviously going to meet Raiko, and now it's suddenly like Raiko's in control here. He's the commander of the good side, and suddenly the commander of the bad side is nowhere to be found. And he's like, hey, I'm meeting you here for these negotiations. Where is the guy? You're wasting my time here. And he's in complete command here. They really write Raiko well in this situation, where he's just like these are just random soldiers, and even though they're the invading army, they're in control of this, and he's just like, come on, I'm here to discuss my surrender. What are you doing? Where's the organization of your organization? And that's a really good question. It's just like, that's the question you could ask Kuvira as well. Like, you set out to help change the world. She says that in the finale to Korra. What? Why war? Why all of this craziness? Like, where did this come from? All that they want is a united Earth Empire. But they're doing that by, like, forcing it on everyone, rather than just, like, okay, Jiaofu can stay by itself, the United Republic can stay by itself, we'll stick with what we have. And it's to the point where they eventually decide that, look, you can have the rest. Like, they're willing to basically give Kuvira that. You can have the rest once you leave Republic City. And Korra realizes the real way to get through to him. She's going to keep him away from Kuvira. That even if the good guys lose, Korra is going to keep him away from Kuvira. She's going to devote herself to this. And that is the worst thing ever, because he loves Kuvira, and it's like, ooh, wow, Korra, that was clever, but also like, this is a form of torture here, but it's just a really cool, like, intelligent moment for Korra, that she knows that the just like, oh, I'm just going to beat you up isn't going to work, and has another way to do it. And yeah, Raiko in complete command, give me the radio, I'm talking to Kuvira. Where is he? Kuvira has no idea what's going on. And here we go. We get to see Kuvira's feelings for Batar come out. He explains the situation, that she's going to keep me away from you forever. But here look at the questions that she's asking. That even though Batar's in danger, she's just asking, is the Avatar there? Are all these other people there with you? And he's like, yeah. And then she's like, find the location. Track them. And it's definitely a case of she does care for him. There's something there, but her goal means more to her than Batar. But it is painful for her to do what she's about to do here. It could have had a little bit more development, though. And yes, she's found out where they are, and is just like, no, she's not going to kill Batar just to take out the rest of them. And it's a crazy way to end the episode. Unfortunately, it doesn't really mean a lot at the start of the next episode, because the worst thing that happens is like, oh, Batar hit his head. He's a little bit dazed. Everyone else is like perfectly fine. But waiting a week for the finale after this was like, have they killed anyone? Like, is someone actually dead here? Like, have they killed Mako or Sue or anyone like that? But no, they didn't. Still, now that we've seen the whole series, it's definitely not as impactful, but it's still a strong ending to an episode. Because the one thing you can take away from the scene is just the fact that Kuvira was willing to do that to Batar. That she was willing to fire on him to basically make it easier for her goals to become a reality. And that is probably the most telling thing, rather than, oh, our heroes are maybe potentially in danger. It's just that she was willing to kill Batar to take everyone else out. But still, Kuvira's Gambit, strong episode. A good setup for the finale for sure, because we're going to start off with our heroes in a really drastic situation. They don't have really anything against Kuvira anymore, because she clearly doesn't care for Batar, and it's just going to be a fight between a small band of kind of heroes, the few troops that haven't surrendered, against Kuvira's whole army basically. And there's a lot of stuff happening, and I'm really excited to discuss the finale over the course of this week. So definitely check out the next commentaries. One of them will be coming up tomorrow, I hope, and then probably the final episode on Thursday. So thanks for watching this commentary, and bye.